What is up, guys? This is Kromatik, and today we're going to be talking about major and minor triads and how to build each one. Then at the end of the video, we're going to go back to what we had done in the previous lesson, back to the C major scale and the triads that we built on top of each scale degree. And we're going to kind of explore those a little bit more once we learn about the major and minor triads. So let's go right to it. So this first chord right here, this is a C major triad. It sounds like that. This one right here, this is going to be a C minor triad. Okay, so how do we build a major triad? What makes this a major triad, actually? So a major triad, just like any other triad, is going to follow a set of rules, just like the scale. It's going to follow a sequence, a pattern, and what it follows is that with these two bottom notes, these two notes right here, the C and the E, the root and the third, you might hear them called, is going to be a major third when we're trying to build a major triad. The upper two notes, which is going to be the third and the fifth, this is going to be a minor third. And so, but what are those? Because in the last lesson we did not talk about those, so I'm going to go ahead and explain it. So if you remember, we have the half step, right? And that's an interval in music. That's the shortest interval, the shortest distance between two notes. There's no other notes in between. So that's going to be the half step. We also talked about, in building that scale, the C major scale, we talked about the whole step as well, which is this. It sounds like that if we play it harmonically together. So it's like we got the half step and the whole step. Now, to get a major third, there's two ways to think about it. The one way, which I actually prefer, and I'm going to share that one with you first, is to think of it as being two whole steps away from whatever note that you're starting on. So in this case, we're starting on C, right? So two whole steps away. Well, we know this is going to be the first whole step. So the second whole step is going to go to E. It wouldn't go to E flat because that would be a half step right there, right? So it's going to E. So first whole step, second whole step. That's going to give us the major third interval. It's two whole steps away. You can also think of it in half steps if that is easier for you. So we start here, and the major third is going to be 4 half steps away. So what we do is this. We count 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's going to give us the major third. So again, you can think of it as 2 whole steps or 4 half steps. Alright, so that is a major third interval. So, how do we figure out this interval, which is the minor third? Okay, well, the minor third is a shorter interval. And what it is, let's see, if we start on E, I want to get to G. Well, if we count the notes in between, it would be... That's how much the distance is from E to G. So if we start on E, and then we go up, 1, 2, 3. So I went up in half steps, and there was 3 of them. So to get a minor third, it's 3 half steps. There's 3 half steps in between. And I think that's the easiest way to think about that one. You could think of it as a whole step and a half step. you could think of it as a half step and then a whole step. But I think just for simplicity's sake, I do think just thinking the 3 half steps may be the simplest thing. But you can think about it however it's easiest for you. So we're going 3 whole steps up, 3 half steps up. And that's going to give us the minor third interval. So that's how you make a major chord. The bottom structure, the bottom 2 notes here are going to be the root and the third. They're referred to as the root and the third, okay? Root and third is going to be major. Third and fifth is going to be minor third. So there's a major third, minor third. And that's how you get a major chord. So let's go ahead and build one on a different note. Let's try D. Why not? So let's do D. So we're doing D. So we know the combination is major third, and then from that third we go up a minor third. So how do we do this? All right. Well, if we remember, a major third consists of two whole steps. So we go up to E, and then we go up to F sharp. So that's going to give us the third. We went up whole step, 2 whole steps. Alright? So then we start on this note, and we're going to go up 3 half steps. Here we go. Ready? 1, 2, 3. That's going to give us the minor third. Then if we play the whole thing, we get the major chord. So, I'm going to write this back in just so y'all can see it. So that's how you get a major chord. And this will work no matter where you start. You can start really anywhere you want. And you're going to get that same sound. And I just want to emphasize too, it's really important not to just get too theoretical about it, and also let your ears kind of be the judge of it as well. So, I mean, you can tell that this is a major chord just by the sound of it, right? That's the sound of a major chord. After a while, you won't even have to really think about the interval combination. You'll just know what they are, and it'll become a lot easier. So, how do we build this next one, which is going to be a C minor triad? Well, first of all, let's just go ahead and listen to it. Okay, so that's the sound of a minor triad. In this case, it's C minor because C is the root. Now, how do we build it? Well, there are 2 different ways that you can think about it. If you know what a major triad is, for example, the C major, we know what the C major triad is, with C, E, G, right? All we have to do to get a C minor triad is to lower the third by 1 half step. So instead of this, we're just lowering it by a half step. And that's how you can find out what the minor triad is. The second way you can think about it is that the interval combination is actually reversed. So whereas with the major triad we had a major third and a minor third, this one's actually going to do a minor third and a major third. So this would be the minor third and the major third. And since we've already gone over how to find those intervals, I won't keep going. But I'd like to go ahead and go here. And if you notice, this is from the previous lesson where we went ahead and built the scale. We built the major scale. Then we built the triads on each one of these scale degrees. And I won't go over that because I went over it in the last tutorial. which is Music Theory from the Ground Up Part 1. So if you haven't seen that, I recommend checking that out before you continue on with this. But anyway, so we built the triads. So, what are some interesting things to realize about this? Well, we know what the C major triad is now. We know how to build it. If we look at the second chord, if we just listen to it, you might be able to tell that that's actually a minor triad there, just by the sound. But if you're not too sure about it, you can look at the intervals, and we can see that this is a minor third. And how do we know this? Well, let's test it. Let's go up 3 half steps and see if we land on F. So we went up 3 half steps, which is a minor third. And now let's see what this next note's gonna be. So we went up 4 half steps there. So, and that is the interval combination of a minor triad, right? Same with the E minor. It has the same interval combination, it's simply starting on a different note. So, same interval relationships between any 2 minor triads that are voiced as a root, 3rd, and 5th. Then we come to F major. Now, F major, how do we know it's major? Well, again, if you kind of just listen to it, you can probably tell. But if you wanted to test it, you could do the whole test. You could say, okay, it sounds major. Let me see if it's actually major. So let me do, for the first interval, we're doing a major third. So that's going to be 2 whole steps. And sure enough, we land on A. And then for this, we're going to go up 3 half steps from here to get that minor third. And sure enough, we get the C there. So that's going to be a major triad. And it's the same with the G major, the same interval combination, simply starting on the G this time. Then we get to A minor. The 7th one is funky, and I'll cover that in the next lesson, but this is actually a diminished triad. You know, on second thought, I'll go ahead and cover it right now because it's pretty easy. So we know what the minor third is, right? Well, with a diminished triad, it is only built with minor thirds. So they're all minor thirds. So from B to D, we know that a minor third is 3 half steps away. So we get that. And then for the top interval, it's just going to be another minor third. 3 half steps away. Right? So that gives us the diminished triad. There's only one other triad we haven't covered, and that's the augmented. And I think I'll cover that in a later lesson. It's not used as much, but it's still an important thing, and we're definitely going to get to it. But I just would like to point out one more thing before we close out this lesson. I know this video is probably getting kind of long, but what's interesting to note is that this sequence of triads actually follows a pattern. So, and you can refer to these chords in numbers. So, this is note 1 of the scale because it's a C major scale. So this is going to be note 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Then you're back to 1 because it's the same note, it's just the octave. Same note, different register. Right? So, when we talk about these, we can refer to them as the 1 chord, the 2 chord, here, let me play it as I say it. The 1 chord, the 2 chord, the 3 chord, the 4 chord, 5 chord, 6 chord, 7 chord, 1 chord. So, what's very cool about this is that this sequence of alternating majors and minors will hold up throughout any major key. So, what I mean by that is, if you notice the 1 chord is major, right? The 2 chord is minor. The 3 chord is minor. The 4 chord is major. The 5 chord is also major. The 6 chord is minor. The 7 chord is diminished. And then we're back to the 1 chord. So basically it goes like this: major, minor, minor, major, major, minor, diminished, and then we're back to major, we're back to the 1 chord. Now, what can you really do with that? Well, what's interesting to note is that in any major key, there's going to be 3 major chords, major triads, without adding any notes outside of the key, okay? So we're going to have C major is our first major triad. Then we have the 4 chord and the 5 chord. Those are all the majors. We have 3 minors. It's going to be the 2 chord, the 3 chord, and the 6 chord. And then we have 1 diminished. And that's going to hold up with any major key. So if we built this, and I won't do it here because the video is getting kind of long, and we packed in a lot of information here, but we could build another scale and build the triads on it, and the chord relationships would follow the same. The 1 chord would be major, the 2 chord would be minor, 3 chord would be minor, 4 chord, 5 chord would be major, both of those would be major. The 6 chord would be minor, the 7 chord would be diminished, and then we'd be back to the 1 chord. So, very cool stuff, very cool stuff. And I hope you guys enjoyed this and understood it. If you have any questions at all, I would be more than happy to answer them. If anything was unclear, please let me know so I can clear that stuff up for you guys. I'm just trying to help y'all out, help y'all learn some music theory. And I'd like to say one thing just before I close out this video, and that is I'm actually going to be starting a video series called Tracks from Scratch, where I'll be creating them alongside these theory videos, and the concepts that I'm teaching in the theory videos I'm going to use to create a track from scratch for you guys, because I know that all of this can seem like a lot of information, and you're probably like, okay, I get it, but like, how do I apply it in a musical way? So that's what the tracks from scratch are going to be. Those are going to be, okay, we know the theory, now how do we apply it and make some cool sounds? So I'm going to be starting that off really soon, you guys, and I really do appreciate y'all watching. Hope y'all enjoyed this video. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, and throw a shoe if it ever gets boring, you guys. I appreciate it, and we'll see you guys next time.